It's the Uprising.
I think we do.
Okay. Welcome back to the Uprising. I'm Pac, and I'm with Adam Lumley. What's going on this week, bro?
Oh, not much. We missed last week, but we're going to kind of talk about what we were going to talk about last week, and we'll just get into it. So we're going to be doing a recap of the RNC Republican Convention. We're going to be talking about Jake Blake shooting. We're going to talk about protesters yelling at this poor white woman in a restaurant and how stupid and problematic that is. Kind of want to talk about that and how Pac and I kind of feel about the looting and destruction of property, and how we kind of think it's counterproductive to our mission as left. Want to talk about that. We want to talk about Kyle, I'm not going to say his full name, shooting and the justification of that comparable to the shooting that Michael, the guy killed that dude in Portland, the Trump supporter. Kind of want to talk a little bit about that as well. Don't want to go into too much detail because we don't fully know as much about that yet. And is the Republican Party turning into a fascist party? We want to talk about that. And then we want to make fun of Jerry Falwell Jr. for being a cuck. So. All righty. So the RNC wrapped up last week. Happened a couple days. Ooh. The Trump and his family and his band of idiots talked, and pretty much the main thing of the RNC was to terrify white boomers and terrify people in the suburbs and try to pick off a couple of minorities. That's kind of what the thing was. I thought Trump's speech the last night was actually fairly good. I thought it was way too fucking long, but I thought it was good. Actually kind of worried me a little bit with the polls and everything. Now, the polls this week, old Milton Brain's looking like he's going to win again, so a little bit not as nervous, but I'm still pretty nervous when it comes to election. It's about 60-50, 60-40 for me when it comes to Biden winning, and that keeps on changing. So there's a lot of propaganda. The Joe Biden's a radical Marxist nonsense, which I don't know who's believing this nonsense outside of their idiot base. I do think they have a chance though. Initially, before the coronavirus happened, I thought Trump was going to get reelected. I thought we were going to take the Senate and keep the House. Now, if Trump does win, I think that's what's going to probably happen. And I don't know if he's going to win or not. We'll see on that. I definitely want to see what happens in the debates. Just like the fascist party with this Republican tax cuts and zombie Reaganomics, even woven together, is pretty much the RNC's thing right now. They had an internal memo saying that we're not going to do any policies this go around. We're just going to do whatever Trump wants. So and it's going to be interesting to see if Trump wins. If Trump wins, and Trumpism is definitely not going away, but if he loses and he gets annihilated, it's going to be interesting to see where this Republican Party goes. So that's all really I gotta say. I didn't watch too much of it. It's just nonsense.
I mean, where can I start, man? I love movies, so I watch good movies and bad movies, and it was just a bad movie with bad actors. I wish it was all a joke, but scary that it's not. For a party that likes to talk about how we're not going to live in fear, you know, from Joe Biden and the radical left, uh, from a party that says that, and then for 4 hours just spews fear. It's kind of funny that that's like their core base loves that, you know, the core Trumpians or
Yeah,
Trumpnatics,
yeah. The
you know.
Trumpers.
Yeah, they love that. That's the feature for them, man. They like that crazy talk, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, they
it's
love
just
their guns and they love being scared, and comes from
yeah,
people that want to fire it against the government and everything else. Which this,
they're the ones that believe that whole Joe Biden is the radical left and all this other stuff. Like, come on, man. It's we're getting to the point where like you can't help these people that don't understand what reality is, and so it's hard. You can't have a conversation with them, man. You can't have a debate with them because they're too far gone over the edge, you know. And then they're like, I mean, we're gonna just skip through, I guess, you know, his son being coked out and doing his thing. It, it's
or
I watched this stuff, bro, and you know, I didn't feel like I needed to watch it because I know I didn't need to watch it, but I thought, let me just see, you like, how crazy can get, and man, the Republican Party never ceases to amaze me, man. It's always this same rhetoric, you know. It's like everything that they said that whole night was just hateful, fear mongering. They're coming for your guns. Joe Biden and the radical left, you know, they want to take your doctor away. They want to take your guns away. And they believe this whole narrative, you know, and it's not like it's I mean, there's no getting through to them, man. And just watching that whole propaganda, you know, 4 hours a day, just it's just crazy, man. I don't know the people that were watching that and that got something out of it. That's who I'm worried about. The people that watched that and were like, yeah, you know, they
yeah,
were excited about it. I mean, we weren't excited about the DNC, like, you know, we wasn't excited about any of the stuff really going on there. You know, there's a couple good speakers that we wanted to see, but that was it. You know,
yeah.
but the core Trump fans that watched that and were like, yes, this is the greatest. This is better than the MTV Music Awards. Those are the people that I'm worried about. You know,
Yeah.
those are the ones that are crossing state lines with AR-15s.
Oh yeah. Definitely going to talk about that.
so
Oh, too much.
so RNC, you know, just as kooky and crazy as ever. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, this is which I want to. This was the segue to. Is this the fascist party now, or is the Republican Party ever going to go back to um, not insane party, this the kind of crazy party, or are they just going to go even more insane QAnon lizard people like?
It's at the turn, man. I think I don't say right now that the Republican Party is a full on fascist party. I will say that there are people with fascist tendencies in the party, like at the top running the party. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they're on their way to being a full-fledged fascist party, and they're actually doing a good job of it because their own voters don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like they're being led down this path, you know, following good old boy Trump, and they don't even realize that y'all are the bad guys. Y'all don't even realize you're the bad guys. Not that there's not any, you know, establishment Democrats that have issues too. You know, we're just
Mm-hmm.
as critical of them, but you know, it's dominant in the Republican Party. The establishment Democrats that we have now, they're all, they would be old school, you know, corporate Republicans. Now they're
Mm-hmm.
just Democrats. You see what I'm saying? Establishment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
liberals. So I don't think they're fascists yet, but I think they're on the path to being full-fledged fascists. It's really going to take a turn. I think when the election, it's going to be if Trump wins, maybe we get a little more fascist than we are now. If he loses, like, are they going to be able to take that? Are they going to be able to take that loss? I don't know, man. There's people out here grabbing people by the face and shooting people in the streets. I mean, you know,
Um.
it's so grim, bro. This is dark times.
It is really dark times, man.
It's sad they don't even know that, like, they're the villains of the movie. They don't even know they're the villains.
And they think they're the fucking good guys. That's
They
the
think
problem,
they're the heroes. Man. They think they're the heroes, man.
It's just, like, we live in like a. I tell Pactus a lot. I've been telling Pactus a lot. We live in the bad timeline, and I feel like we got kicked in this weird timeline we're in, and everything's just bad, man. I try to be, try to be an optimistic person. I try to look at the best things in life, the best qualities in people, but hey, it's really hard to be an optimistic person right now. And, I haven't been into politics my entire adult life. I really seriously got into it about 5 years ago. And before that, I paid attention a little bit, but nowhere near what I am now. And, ignorance is bliss, man. Like, ignorance is bliss, because when you actually know what's going on in the Matrix, it's kind of scary. And I don't know, man. I am worried. I don't know what's going to happen if Trump loses, and a lot of shady things happen if Trump loses. And I don't know if this country's going to survive from that. But to answer my own question, they're heading that way. And if Trump does get reelected, I worry that this country is going to go down a dark path, and I'm worried that we're going to go down that path regardless. But I don't know, man. I people that think that we can just have Trump get reelected and build a bigger coalition and everything else. This didn't work in my eyes last time. I mean, yeah, AOC and the squad got elected, but outside of that, Bernie got crushed. And one of the big reasons why Bernie got crushed is because CNN and MSNBC have been scaring the living shit out of these damn liberal boomers for the last 4 years. And they just wanted anyone other than Trump they wanted anyone that could beat Trump. So they couldn't care less if it was Bloomberg or who else. And old Joe Biden was a pick. So,
yeah.
And if Trump gets reelected, it's just going to, a couple of things. He's just not going to worry about getting reelected. So what new telling what he's going to do. So I do worry that we're heading down a bad path, especially if he gets reelected. Maybe Joe Biden can heal our country a little bit. I don't know. I doubt that, but who knows?
I mean, how low has the bar been set for both parties, man? There has got to be some Republican voters that are unsatisfied with their party to, like, look at who we got. This is Donald Trump and Joe Biden. How low has our bar been set for who we let represent us? And that's a question to Republicans too, and Democrats. Like, look at what we got. You can't just be, no matter who you vote for, you can't just be satisfied with who they give you. Be critical. Don't just accept everything. That's something life should have taught you a long time ago. I don't know, it's frustrating to the point of, I know that there are decent people that are Republicans. I know that. Mm-hmm. But, like, there's the extreme ones are the ones that aren't decent, and there's extremists on in both parties. I'm not saying that there's not, but
Yeah.
it's overwhelmingly in the Republican Party. So it, I just wish that everybody can see kind of what's really going on here.
Yeah. Let's switch to topics. So Jacob Blake, that's another grim thing. Jacob
Man.
Blake, fortunately, he survived, but he did get shot 7 times by Kenosha police in Wisconsin. He There's conflicting reports. Some people say that the people there said that he was trying to break up a fight. Other people say the police were saying that he knew the woman in the area and he was there. He wasn't supposed to be. So I don't know. I don't know who to believe in that situation. But regardless, he wasn't armed. There's allegedly police said that he had a pocket knife inside the car, which I don't know if I believe that or not. Regardless, he went back to his car. He kind of resisted a little bit, and the police shot him in the back sometimes. Unfortunately, he's alive. He's paralyzed. He at the hospital. The cops, for some reason, I don't know how he's going to get out of the situation. He's paralyzed, but he handcuffed him to the hospital bed. He's not going to float out of the hospital, so I don't know why they did that. Even when they shoot you, they still shoot you as a criminal. But it's an unfortunate situation, and after those massive protests and some riots, and some protests turned into riots, and a lot of places got looted and burned, and um, a lot of craziness happened. We're going to get to that in a second. Fortunately, again, Jacob Blake's alive. Begs the question: when is this going to stop, man? We've been protesting for 3 months, nonstop. Some people for nonstop. Just tons of police beating on protesters. Some protesters fighting cops. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. So been a lot of craziness with Kenosha. This 17-year-old kid. I mean, he's not an adult yet, so I'm gonna call him a kid. I've been people call him a man. He's not a man in my eyes. He's 17 still. He went to the protest in Kenosha. He thought he was going to be a patriot and a hero, and he lived in Illinois. He lives in Illinois, and he drove over state lines with a gun, an AR-15 that illegally used because he's a minor to protect property that's not his, and he shot one man that can't fully tell what happened, but he was in a parking lot. This man started chasing him. That they're having an altercation beforehand, and the reports saying that the man threw like a plastic bag and some bottles at him or something, and Kyle shot him in the head. The man died, obviously. Kyle ran off. He called, I'm assuming, the police. And then he was going down to leave, I guess, I hope. And then protesters knew that he was the one that shot him, and they tried to apprehend him and for the cops to get him. And as he was running, he tripped, and people started trying to beat him up. And then he shot someone that had a skateboard in the chest and killed him. And then he shot someone else in the arm and almost blew that guy's arm off, and he did lose his arm. And then he walked away with his hands up, and police were coming, and they didn't do anything to him. Mind you, that protesters all saying that he shot those people. And then he left, and he went home, and eventually he was arrested. He's been charged with a double homicide, and we'll see what happens with that. It's complicated, I think. he might get away with it because it's self-defense. He might use self-defense as a justification. I don't completely agree with that because one, he's 17, he shouldn't have a gun. Two, it's illegal to do that in Wisconsin. And three, if you're going into a place protecting someone else's property that's not yours, there's going to be problems. There's videos of him confronting other people. Those people said that he was threatening them when they were in a car. So, yeah, this guy's not a hero. He's not a patriot. Um, he's just a stupid kid with a gun. And unfortunately, he killed a couple people. And of course, our president and right-wing media has been saying that he's a hero and he didn't do anything wrong. Mind
Right.
you, that someone shot a Trump supporter in Portland, and second, that morning after, everyone in right-wing media and the president were calling this man a terrorist and wanted him to be arrested. So double hypocrisy right there.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's just another thing that they don't want to admit. You know, they don't want to admit that there is a terrorist problem in America, and it is extreme right-wing white men. Nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to call them a terrorist when they do a terrorist act. But if you don't agree with somebody and you know that they're protesting and you go with intent to shoot somebody and then you shoot somebody, you're a fucking terrorist, dude. I mean, I don't even know why this is a fucking argument, because most of them, and I'm sorry for cussing so much, but it just pisses me off that this keeps happening, man. And what's even more sickening is that these people are calling him a hero. Are y'all crazy? Like, yeah, and it's not good for if it's somebody on the other side. Then they don't mind calling them a terrorist. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know, it just keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening, and that's their team. And it goes back to, like, they don't know they're the bad guys, man. They think they're the good guys, and anybody that does anything for their cause is good. You know, and you know they just crossing the state lines with that gun, whether he was of age or not. I mean, the fact that he was only 17 just makes it even worse, you know. But cross the state lines with that gun with intent to shoot somebody who's going to be protesting or looting or whatever. And you know, people who've handled the AR-15 to tell you that you've got that gun, you're not really worried about somebody attacking you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The people that knew after he shot the first person, and they seen him, and they're like, we got to hold this guy. We got to stop this insane murderer before he kills somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have? I got my skateboard. To me, that's bravery. You trying to take down someone who's killing somebody, who's using the AR-15, you trying to stop them with a skateboard. You know what I mean? That's a lot more braver than you crossing state lines and just shooting somebody who you don't agree with. And, you know, the cops bringing them water and tell, hey, you know, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, beforehand, other militiamen were in the area as well. Police threw them water bottles, thanked them for being there, and everything else. And Kyle was in the crowd.
They're all part of the same feather, man.
Yeah,
they're all part of the same bird. You know what I mean? That they root them on and they're cool with them because that's who grows up to be in the police department.
I mean, he wanted to be a cop, so
yeah. And nobody wants to talk about that. We have extreme right-wing white supremacists infiltrating the police department. And when they're kids, they want to be cops. I want to show off. I want to be a hero.
Yeah.
When you start calling people who kill innocent people heroes, you're causing an issue here, man. It's insanity, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on that story. we're gonna have to wrap it up pretty quickly. Our last story is gonna be a little bit lighter.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
um, so, Jerry Falwell Jr. He formerly
Jerry.
formerly he was the president of Liberty University, a Christian fundamentalist university started by his dad. So Jerry Falwell is married, and apparently, this is alleged, he likes to be a cuck. He's a cuckold. So allegedly, he would have his business partner / friend have sexual relations with his wife as he watched, and sometimes he would participate as well. Now, mind you, I don't care cuck, if you want to be a cuck or not. That's not what I'm into, but it's whatever. To each his own. The problem with that is, mind you, this is the same people that want to criticize everyone for their sexual way they are, what kind of sex they like, or what type of sex they like. So this Christian hypocrisy at the fullest. The man's a coward. He tried to blame his wife initially, and that didn't work. So he just took the bullet, and he resigned from his post. And well, now he's known as a cuck.
Yeah, man. It's they always say that you tell people, like, when you point the finger at somebody, you got three fingers pointing back at yourself. Yeah. So the main people that are like, oh, this is wrong, and the same people that are like, oh, like, you'll find out a political guy who's been against homosexual marriage really was gay himself. And so it's just more of the hypocrisy, man. But it's just I'm pretty sure if he did get involved, it probably wasn't that many times, and it was probably over there like, here, let me hold the light.
Let me give you some water.
Here you go. Let me hold your hair. I'm sorry, I had to. Oh man, but so the Cuck Award 2020 goes to Jerry.
Oh, but yeah, that's some light news. We get to make fun of Jerry Falwell. He's not a good person in my eyes, so no. I don't really care if I make fun of him or not. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we're gonna cuck shame him.
Yeah, we will cuck shame him because he. If you want to criticize people and be a hypocrite, then yeah. Those barriers that I wouldn't criticize you if you're a good person, just like weird sex. But he's not a good person. He likes criticizing other people. So yeah, he'll feel our wrath. So
karma's a bitch.
Karma is a bitch. So that's all I gotta say.
All right, man. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, like, share, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get that by the end of the year. So if you can help us out, we sure appreciate it. See y'all next week.
Uprising.